Well, hey, Conrad.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Here it was a busy week, right? So we're going to cover a couple topics this week. The main thing is Desert X, which kicked off this past week and was quite a busy weekend. And you also had to have an interview with Miss Patsi for Dinner with Patsi, which is an upcoming charity event in Cat City that's going to be coming up this Wednesday, right?
That's right. Lots of
Okay.
interesting things happening this week.
Yeah, well, there are many others, but we're narrowing it down to two.
That's right. We only have so much time, right?
Right, we only have so much time.
Okay, let's talk Desert X.
Well, yeah, let's do it because we got a little bit of the press tour on Thursday, which is the kickoff press day, and it officially opened on Friday to massive amounts of people, right?
Yes.
Massive amounts of people. I got out and I scooted out quickly to go see the big installation by Nicholas Galinan, which is Indian Land. And you can't miss it if you're driving into town. And it's just before you get to the tramway sign, dramatically set up against the mountains. And the name of the installation is Never Forget. And it reminds us to never forget where we are. We're here on Indian land. And Coachella made a point to honor the Cahuilla Indians this year on Desert X. So we're planning to have an interview with the curator or the director sometime in the coming weeks, because the Desert X itself extends through May 16th.
Right.
And there will be a lot more events coming in right around April 6th.
So this is a good time to talk about the hub. Now, just in case people don't know, if you're in town, of course, everybody can do everything online today, but if you're in town and you want to actually speak to someone about what is Desert X, if you go to the Ace Hotel, that is where the hub or the space where you can learn about this. What's really interesting about that is that it is located right next to the pool. So on one side, all these people are in the pool having a good time. And on the other side are these people who are anxious to learn about what is Desert X. You can pick up information about, you can get these beautiful magazines there. You can learn
the
about
magazine is really beautiful. Yeah.
How to log on to the app, which is very important. You can learn about which exhibits are coming or are no longer there. There's an opportunity to buy some shirts there. I know the shirt that you have on can be bought somewhere else, but some other shirts can also be bought there. It's a great
on press day, we had to go to a place called Windmill City, which is a really cool little store in itself, located on North Palm Canyon next to Las Palmas Brewing. So now I think you have this end of town, which is where the hub is,
right,
and the far end of town, which is going out towards more of the site installations.
Right.
And so I love this one. This is
like beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about some of the sites. What did you see? Give me one that you saw.
I went to see Zahra El-Ghamdi's monolith. It's called What Lies Behind the Walls. And she's a Saudi Arabian artist. And it's very interesting because she's very I'd say infatuated with deserts, both her desert and the Coachella Valley. So she has combined materials from both deserts and kind of stacked them in various concretes. There's different materials. There's palm leaves. There's I have some close-up shots too, so you can kind of see the layering, but it makes such a profound statement. And it's one of those where you have to hike really far to get to it. But when you get there, you see this giant structure. And when you come closer, you just see all these layers and layers and layers. I actually can't imagine how much time was spent on her part doing this. And did she do it? She would have had to do it in place almost. I don't know.
And I think it has
something you can move in. I don't think.
I really like the idea that has to do with the wall. It's not the wall that we all know, but it's still the wall idea.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's supposed to signify like they have a lot of walls around villages in Saudi Arabia and things like that. We have walls around communities here. But it's a more straightforward structure with all these layers, sort of like layers of cultures.
Okay, so I went to an exhibit that's currently over at Sunnylands. It's exhibit number 7. This is an exhibit called Women's Qualities. It's by Gada Amir. Beautiful display. Now, what this is you go into the back of Sunnylands where the big lawn is, and there are in a circle. There are a variety of words like strong, resilient, beautiful. And the idea is for men and women, are these qualities who you are? Does this empower you? She's coming from an idea that instead of females always having their art inside, she wanted to bring it outside. And this is a beautiful space for an outside exhibit. If you get a chance, you definitely want to catch this one.
Okay, and they're basically feminist qualities that she perceives for.
They're feminist or male. You get to decide.
Male. Okay, right. Okay, great.
So
well, today, blustery as it was, a second time a success because the lines on the weekend were so long up this it's like scaling Mount Everest to get to Alicia Quade's exhibit, which is Parapivot, that we just talked about. The structure is immense. The wind was so strong. So I have to say, climbing that hill like this, and it's right at the crest of the hill, your total exposure, but it makes such a powerful statement for her work, which is steel structure that's kind of interlacing and with sort of supports of white marble. It's if you get up there on a day where the sky is blue, it's very, very, it's just awe-inspiring. And she's saying it's about perspective. Go under, around, through, look up. It's kind of like Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, which is the whole perspective of, everything looks different from different vantage points. Definitely worth the hike. So
sounds good.
That's a good one. Just don't pick a windy, freezing day and just wear your hiking boots.
So Claudia, I know you've been out and about. You've seen a lot of these. Are there any exhibits where you don't have to do so much hiking?
There is. Funny you should ask. Directly adjacent to the Palm Desert Chamber of Commerce is Kim Stringfellow's Jackrabbit Homestead. And it's a tiny home, a structure, kind of represents the whole land tract homestead act that started in 1938, where people were, getting small tracts of land and building their little homes. Right. But what's really interesting is she wrote a book about this. And when you come closer, not only can you peer inside and you'll see a little stove, a little table, a typewriter with obviously things typed on that, the old typewriter, someone's writing and documenting probably a book, a little bed. And then she has two speakers, I think, where you can actually hear what's being typed out, talking about, living in the, roughing it back in the day. And it's really an interesting little tiny home to see. So.
And Claudia, this is some of the beauty of Desert X. There are so many different exhibits to see, each one with its own little feel about what the artist is trying to say, right. And you get to interpret that also. And what we're going to do here at Palm Springs Point of View is, because there's so many exhibits, as we go along throughout the weeks, throughout the next couple of months, we'll be talking about and highlighting different ones.
Yeah, because there are many more exhibits, right. So we don't want to kind of crash it all in on you at once. But exactly. I think what I think is really cool thing to do at the end of the day, and if you're not too far or you live in Palm Springs, once it gets dark, drive up Tockwitz, just past the Rowan. The museum will be back on the right, but just on the left side is an empty lot, and you'll see this illuminated igloo, and that is the North Face by Gucci igloo. Gucci is a sponsor for Desert X, and they have done a collaboration with the North Face for all this cool clothing, outdoor down and things like that, but it's like very, very, very out there stylish. So, but that looks beautiful at night, just to view this structure that's sitting there.
Well, and speaking of nighttime and being out in the city, I had the opportunity to do an interview with a young gal here in the Cathedral City who goes by the name of Patsi. Okay, and she has a third Wednesday of every month dinner charity event that she does. It's called Dinner with Patsi. Let's look at the interview, and then we'll talk a little bit afterwards.
Okay.
The Coachella Valley is known very well for its many philanthropists. And joining us today is one of those individuals known very well in the city of Cathedral City. Let's welcome to Palm Springs Point of View, Miss Patsi of Dinner with Miss Patsi. Hey, Miss Patsi, how are you today?
Well, good morning, darling. How are you doing?
I am doing just fine, as always.
Oh, that's great.
So I want to make sure that our viewers know. I want to let our viewers know, first of all, that Miss Patsi and her alter ego Tommy and I and husband are also we're friends, and we're also neighbors. And I've been to my share of dinners with Miss Patsi. As I mentioned, I have been to many of the dinners, but maybe folks, this may be their first time hearing about what is dinner with Miss Patsi. What is it?
Well, darling, I just love talking about myself, so we're just going to jump right in here. When my husband and I moved out here 6 years ago or so, we decided, what am I going to do with this old drag queen that's, taking up all this closet space? And we decided that we wanted to do something for our city. And after working for years with the, local rodeo associations, and then working with the having my toes in the imperial court system, I just wanted to do something that was different and unique. And we said, let's do a dinner party. And so we figured out how to do dinner with Patsi, where you just get a whole group of people together. You do your own dinner thing at the restaurant of my choice, of course. I get to play hostess and be pretty. I don't have to work. And then we pass a hat for a local 501c3 charity for our own hometown. I mean, what could be funner? 4 years, and over $40,000 are underneath me. And I shouldn't say me. You have to understand, folks, when I say me, it's because I'm a selfish old woman, but I mean everybody, because if it wasn't for our guests for dinner with Patsi, there would be no dinner with Patsi. Right. It's guests that have the fun.
So when most people think of a fundraiser dinner, they think of there's a ticket to be purchased to get in, and then there is a show, and then there's a presentation. Is that how dinners with Miss Patsi work?
Okay, I got a news flash for you. Tommy just turned 60 years old, and I got news for you guys. I am not clomping around in high heels and doing a show. So what we do is we pick a local restaurant. Let me give you an example about March 17th, just coming right up, St. Patrick's Day, green hair and ham. And we're going to do it over at Bubba's Bones and Brews, right over there at Cathedral Canyon and Raymond.
Yes.
Be for the Cathedral City Senior Center. When I say going to be, that means when I pass the hat for that loose change and spare checks in your wallet, I turn around and give all of that money, every single penny of that money goes to the beneficiary of that month. And for the month of March, it's going to be the Cathedral City Senior Center.
So Patsi, before we leave, could you tell us about some of the organizations that are the benefits of the money that you're collecting?
Okay, I have about 4 or 5 different organizations, and my top favorite, and there's 2 organizations that hold the same spot. And one of them is the Boys and Girls Club of Cathedral City. And yes, we have a Boys and Girls Club here in Cathedral City. And then, of course, the Senior Center of the Cathedral City Senior Center. Right. And then I have the Cathedral City Police Officers Fund.
Right.
And that is to help our officers. I've done some for Angel View. I've done a couple for the California Jazz Foundation. I've done a couple for the Transgender Center. That's over there on Date Palm with Tommy, and have done some fundraising for that.
And Patsi, didn't you also do a couple for the Cathedral High School Choir?
Cathedral City High School Lions Pride Choir.
It's my understanding that not only do you pass the hat when people come pick up their goodies, but do you also do a non-perishable gathering of stuff also? Does that happen every time?
Well, I personally feel, she's going to get on her little soapbox. I personally feel that senior food insecurities is one of the most appalling things that I've heard of. If you're coming to dinner while you're out shopping this week, or, out shopping, and it's 5 for $10, pick up a couple boxes for the senior center.
The dinners are held in Cathedral City, but anybody in the Coachella Valley is welcome to come, not just Cathedral City residents. And if somebody wants to get on the mailing list or to be able to follow you to find out what's going on, is there a web page? Is there a Facebook page?
There's a Facebook page. It's called Dinner with Patsi. All you have to do is just type that in. It'll take you right to us. Shoot me a friend's request, and I will be more than happy to follow to befriend you. Also, dinnerwithpatsy@gmail.com. And if you send a request that you would prefer an email versus following on Facebook, I will also do that. And remember, darlings, Patsy is spelled Patsi, not Y. It's all about I.
All right, Miss Patsi, thank you very much. We appreciate all that you're doing.
Oh, well, you're very welcome, darling. And come join a dinner party when you can and when you're comfortable. I'll be here. Hope to see you soon.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow, Conrad, this is so great what Miss Patsy's doing.
Yes.
And that just passing the hat and every dime goes to a particular charity each month.
That's correct.
That's just awesome. You've done it. You've been to a dinner before,
I've been to several of them. So far, she's collected over $40,000 for different charities here in Cathedral City. And you can also bring a non-perishable goods that also goes to the senior center. She's really decided to try to help the city, and the city is right behind her.
That's great.
It's a great experience if you get a chance. And you know what? Come to Cathedral City.
It's just right next door.
It's right next door.
Okay, well, a lot going on, right? I know.
I think we need a week off.
We'll have to cover those on later shows.
Exactly. So everybody in the Desert X is here. Miss Patsi has dinner every once a month on Wednesdays. You know, there's things to do here in the desert.
Well, and starting tomorrow, we're in the red zone. So, you know, we'll have a little bit of indoor dining. And I think a few other things are going to be opening up, right?
Right. So we will see everybody around town soon.
Yep.
All right. See you later, Claudia.
Okay. See you later.